Hey, free to play gang, welcome back to another video. So today I want to tell you a little bit more about what I've discovered with regards to farming Parmi. So right now I have farmed quite a few copies of her. Let's take a look at where I am right now. So I'm currently at R4 and I'm only 3 days into the event and I still have another 2 more copies to get. But is it still possible for me to effectively farm that many copies of Parmi before the event ends? The answer is actually yes and maybe no depending on what kind of player you are. So the thing is, I still need about another 7,000, okay, 6,800 more of these currencies. Now, some of you guys might be thinking that, okay, I just need to spend my stamina, just play the game like religiously, just do whatever that I need to do, log in, log out, done. That is not the case. You will not be able to get Parmi this way. And I think it's very important that I share this information with you right now before you make that mistake thinking that you can get 7 copies of her just by playing the game. That is actually not the case. So I've gone ahead to record down what a daily task look like. So this is every day it resets, right? So we have 150 up here, we have 100, we have another 100, another 50, another 100. This adds up to 500 in total. So every single day for a span of 17 days, we are going to get 500 per day, which totals to 8,500 over 17 days, right? So if you need some confirmation, you can actually just check the event banner over here. The event time runs from the 28th of February inclusive until the 16th of March because you're not counting the 17th because that's a reset itself. So a total of 17 days. So one Parmi is going to cost you 3,500. So 7 Parmis, which is essential, is going to cost you 24,500. And the goal for this video is for you to effectively farm 24,500 comfortably. That's the most important thing. So because we still have the dailies, we can then net off whatever that we have in excess, or rather whatever that we still need. So what we still need is 16,000 currency that is not going to come in the form of daily. So it's going to come in the form of doing your missions. So for example, as you can see on the right here, there are a bunch of missions that I have yet to clear in order for me to get more of those resources. So the thing is, the daily rewards alone is not going to be enough, obviously, right? So how much I farmed thus far? I farmed a total of 19,200 of the event currency. And how that adds up is 5 copies of Parmi plus 3 dailies, right? Because I just played the game for 3 days, or at least on the PTR account, plus another 200, which is something that I'm sitting on right now. So in total, I have saved a total of 19,200 and spent 19,000. And how much I can still farm via dailies is actually another 7,000, assuming that I still had another 14 days worth of the event running. But that's not going to be the case in the testing server because we only have, I think, 12 more days left of farming for some reason. But the thing is, looking at the global server itself, I would still technically have another 14 days, which would then add up to 7,000 extra currency, which means that in total, whatever that I farmed plus whatever that I can farm from the dailies is going to add up to a total of 26,200, which is more than enough for me to farm 7 copies of Parmi. But there is a big catch to this, because how is it that I was able to farm so much of this currency is because I quickly cleared out all the missions, right? Not say all of it, but most of the missions. So for example, I did 400 Ritual Miracles, I did 150 Sonic Miracles, I did 400 Sonic Rifts as well, and all these requires a lot of saved stamina packs, and it is not possible for most players to achieve this kind of clearance without needing a bunch of stamina packs. And if you're a player who has no stamina packs to your name right now, unfortunately it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to get 7 copies of Parmi, and you might need to change your strategy. So let me go through what the strategy is. So over here below, as you can see, right, the event runs for a duration of 17 days, and the minutes per stamina is 5. So one stamina takes 5 minutes to replenish, which means that every single day you're only going to be able to naturally farm 288 stamina. Only 288, which means that over a course of 17 days, you would be farming upwards of 4,900 stamina, and that's about it. So I'm not including bounties, because some of you guys might not be farming bounties for stamina, some of you guys might be farming it for experiment maybe. So 4,900 stamina over the course of 17 days, this is really not enough stamina. And the reason why I say this is because of the requirements. So if you take a look at the number of Sonic Miracles that we need to complete, right, 150, it costs you 12 stamina per run, which totals to 1,800 stamina. And in terms of Sonic Rifts, we need to clear it 400 times, and every single run is going to cost us 12 stamina as well, which totals to 4,800 stamina, which is almost whatever that you can gain within the period of 17 days, right? And on top of that, there is still the Ritual Miracles, which you need to overfarm 400 times as well. 400 times. And that is going to cost you upwards of 15 stamina per run for a total of 6,000 stamina. Insane. This is freaking crazy. So in total, the total amount of stamina that we need in order to complete the requirements, right, the missions in the Union Research Program is going to total to 12,600 stamina. which is about 3 times as much of the stamina that we can naturally obtain. So the rest needs to come in the form of stamina packs or like, yeah, just crystal refills and all that, right? But of course, here comes the catch, and here is where my strategy comes in a little bit to help to at least guide you guys a little bit what the correct direction might be depending on where you are right now. So the thing is, for the players who do not have stamina packs, the answer is actually not to buy is not to pay money, right? So the answer is actually maybe it might make sense for you to do something easier. So for example, for Sonic Miracles, the way I did 150 is not by doing 12 stamina per runs. I was actually doing 6 stamina per runs, and how I did it is because I was just doing the second difficulty. Yeah, I was just wasting my stamina that way, farming the second difficulty, because I did not need extra copies of essential materials. But the thing is, if you do need essential materials, then you might want to, switch this order around, maybe do the hardest difficulty, maybe, right? Something like that. And then maybe you can, like, if you do not need EXP, then you can reduce it to like the easiest difficulty of Sonic Rifts, for example. So the thing is, if we were to do the easiest versions of all these PvE content, right? So 666, the total stamina requirement would be 5,700, which is still more than whatever that we can naturally recover. So we are still going to need some stamina packs, which we will get along the way because we are still going to get it for free via daily logins, club rewards, and all that kind of stuff. It is still possible for you to get more additional stamina this way. So I think if you have no packs at all and you have no intention of buying packs, you might need to do something like this. You might need to plan out your strategy really well, right? You might need to waste your stamina in a sense over the course of 17 days, which kind of sucks, by doing some of the easier difficulties of Ritual Miracles, Sonic Rifts, and Sonic Miracles so that you have enough stamina to complete the missions over here. Another thing that I can suggest is to start doing your bounties that only give you stamina, because you may not need the Experiment anymore, right? The Legendary Experiment, or rather the Legendary Bounty, because you will be over farming a lot of Sonic Rifts. You're gonna get a lot of EXP along the way. So during the course of the next 17 days, I need you to start refreshing your bounties solely to look for stamina, be it either the blue stamina or the purple stamina bounty, whichever is still good enough. And maybe to add on to that, if you want to farm some of the more meaningful stuff, right? So like if you want to do like the maximum level of Sonic Rift, you're gonna spend more stamina that way. What I might suggest is probably to do one single refill every single day. So it's gonna cost you 60 Nexus Crystals, which adds up to about 1,000 Nexus Crystals along the period of 17 days, but at least that's going to ease your stamina requirements a little bit. So that is something that you might want to consider as well. So this is just a really big heads up, and maybe another thing that you can do right now is to start saving your stamina packs, because you're going to need a whole ton of it. Or maybe you can start saving your stamina as well. So if you were a tryhard, I might suggest that you start topping off your stamina right now. Like just overflowing your stamina by buying from like the friendship shop, just overflowing your stamina this way. I don't really recommend it, but it is what it is if you really want to complete all of these missions. But of course, that's not to say that you need to do all of these missions. It's just that this gives you the biggest payout, because on top of all these missions, right, there are still some of them which pays a little bit, but it doesn't really pay out that much as well. So for example, like doing Point War, if you do more Point War, you're going to get like 250 currency per mission clear, which I think is every 10 Point War wins, right? So over a course of like 17 days, you're going to get, 17 times 12. That is about 200 entries, right? So let's say you could do this until 200 times, right? Let's say. Then you would be able to farm another 5,000 of this currency, which is definitely going to help a lot, right? It's definitely going to help a lot. But obviously not everyone has the patience for Point War right now, and of course not a lot of people have the patience to like do a lot of things like Cube Miracles and all that. So in terms of like the easiest way for you to approach this event, it's going to be doing these PvE content. And yes, it is going to be extremely difficult. So this event is not so much of logging in, logging out, right? You really need to grind your ass for the next 17 days in order to obtain 7 copies of Parmi over here, which I still feel like it's very important to do so. I think that her being at R6 is going to be amazing. And yes, I am going to do a bit of a showcase for her because I have her at R4 right now. But yeah, so that's it for this video anyway. I just want to give you guys a quick warning on what's to come regarding the Dream of Redemption event. But if you have any other questions, or if you found that I missed out on something and you want to clarify anything at all, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.